Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's Reading the Red this Thursday morning. And it's dry and it's warm. It's not cold. It feels like a new beginning. Wonderful. We need it. So in verse 8 of Matthew 16, Jesus, having known that they were discussing the reality of he's having a pop at us because we didn't bring any bread, says these words: "You men of little faith, why do you discuss among yourselves that you have no bread?" So, you men of little faith, why are you getting caught up in defending your emotions as it relates to thinking something that I haven't even said, but because you have this instinctive deception working in you, it's taken you to a place where you are negotiating with yourself. Jesus is telling us off because we didn't bring any bread. And he says, you've got little faith. Can't you see that it's not about bread, as in bread eat? It's about the reality of the truth that they're trying to give you, that you've taken on board. And here is a demonstration of the reality of you taking it on board because you're feeling guilty about something that I didn't even talk about, but you've instinctively gone there because that's where it wants to take you. That's where error takes you. That's where that sense of condemnation will take you. And when you walk in truth, you walk in freedom. When you walk in error, in deception, you walk in a kind of guillotine experience of life where you're just waiting for someone to come and tell you off, or someone to justify where something bad has happened and saying, see, that happened because this, or this has taken place because you've done that. And so there's this kind of almost like internal judgment upon us because we live in error of the reality of the presence of God and his love for us. So he says, and then he breaks into a historic thing that he did just to re-emphasize the fact that he's not talking about bread. And so he says, you men of little faith, don't you remember? And he starts talking about another experience regarding the feeding, which comes soon. But here he says to them, you men of little faith. Look, if I can do this thing, whatever this thing represents, then I can do it. And if I can do this thing then, I can do this thing now. And if I can do this thing there, I can do this thing here. So what he's saying is that the fact that I can do it, and I've shown you that I can do it on 2 occasions, why are you talking about bread? No, I don't have to worry about bread. I can reproduce bread. What I'm talking about, and that's what he wants them to get a hang on, is what I'm talking about is their teaching. That if you take on board their teaching and that teaching is error, you're going to be in trouble. And you don't want to be in trouble because trouble is not a good thing to live with. What he wants us to do is to walk in freedom. And so this sense of having little faith, can you really measure faith? He used an example once about the seed of a mustard and just a little bit of faith, tiny little seed. All you need to do great things like move mountains. Can you really measure faith? What is faith? How does it work? What is operating? What are we looking to do when we exercise faith? How do we set faith off to work? There's all these lovely questions that are presented in this you little faith, men of little faith. But we've run out of time today. I'll speak to you again tomorrow. God bless you.